This is 2-2, solving inequalities by adding or subtracting. So basically with adding and subtracting inequalities, this is the exact same thing that we would do with solving equations. Make sure we put our answers in set builder notation. Okay, example 1a, to solve a minus 42 is greater than negative 64. We want to isolate this a, so I'm going to add 42 to both sides. And now a will be greater than negative 22. We want to graph this. When I graph, I like to have one number on each side at least, so this would be negative 23. This would be negative 21 as we're approaching 0 there. This is going to be an open circle because it's not equal to, remember. So it's an open circle at negative 22. And since it's the right side of the number line, greater than, we're going to highlight that, make it stand out more. Okay, a set builder notation now. For every value of a, such that a is greater than negative 22. Okay, example 1b, I have my variable p that I'm solving for, so I need to get rid of the plus 15, so I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides, or negative 15 to both sides. Negative 8 and negative 15 is negative 23 is greater than p, but in order to graph this, I need that the other way, so it's going to be p, instead of that greater than symbol, I'm going to flip it to less than negative 23, so I just reversed it so that the variable is read first. And for my graph, like I said, I like to have one number on each side at least. And I know this is an open circle again because it's not equal to right there. So open circle at negative 23, and it's less than. So it's going to be going this way. Make that stand out. Okay, and the variable was p, and p is less than negative 23. Example 2, Ellen has $150 to spend at the mall. Okay, so her total amount is $150. She purchases a CD for $16.99, a shirt for $41.99, and a lunch for $5.25. She still wants to purchase a pair of shoes. What amount could you spend on the shoes? So the first thing I want to think about is my variable, which is the shoes. It's going to be x. The total amount that she can spend is $150. And what she has spent already, we can add those up. That was the $41.99, $16.99, $41.99, and $5.25. So we'll get the total of those. So she spent $64.23 already. So $64.23 plus the cost of shoes, which we're calling X, cannot be over $150. She only has $150 to spend. So she could spend $150, so equal to $150, or she could spend less than $150. She doesn't have to spend the whole amount. Okay, and now we would solve. So we're solving for X. I can subtract $64.23 from both sides. And so X has to be less than or equal to 85.77. On shoes. Okay, example 3. Mrs. Lawrence wants to buy an antique bracelet at an auction. She is willing to bid no more than $550. So far, the highest bid is $475. Write and solve an inequality. Determine the amount Miss Lawrence can add to the bid. Check your answer. Well, the first thing we need to know is that no more than would have to be less than or equal to $550. Okay, so I know that that's going to be part of this. And the highest bid so far was $475 plus X. Okay, and then we can go ahead and solve, put a dollar sign there. So minus $475 from both to isolate that X. and X is less than or equal to $75. And we can check that to make sure. So if we pick a number either less than or equal to $75, so I could pick 75 if I want to, then I can plug that in. 475 plus 75 less than or equal to 550, and I get 550 is less than or equal to 550, which is true because it's not less than, but it is equal to. And it said less than or equal to. So that's correct.